I understand. I appreciate it.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, August 25th, 2025 meeting of the Martinsville Common Council. Meeting is hereby called to order. At this time, I'd like to invite Pastor John Maples from the First Baptist Church to come forward to tonight's invocation. So if you'd please stand and then remain standing after the prayer for our pledge.
Almighty God, we come before you today with grateful hearts, acknowledging your sovereignty over all things. We ask for your blessing upon this council as we gather to serve this community. Grant them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to make decisions that are just and beneficial for all residents. Help them to listen to one another with open minds and to seek the common good above personal agendas. May their leadership reflect your love and compassion, and may their actions bring honor to your name. We commit this meeting into your hands, trusting in your guidance and provision. In your name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Maples. Would the clerk please call the roll?
John Badger.
Present.
Susie Lips.
Present.
Ben Mahan.
Present.
Josh Farron.
Present.
Ann Miller.
Present.
Phil Deckard Sr.
Present.
Phil Deckard II.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Prior to tonight's meeting, you each received minutes from the Monday, August 11th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes presented?
I make a motion we accept the minutes as presented.
Second. It's motion made and seconded to accept the minutes as presented this evening. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. I want to read, and from what I understand, this is a new requirement from the state regarding our executive session that we had. You received a memorandum regarding the Monday, August 18th, 2025 executive session. Are there any additions or corrections to the memorandum? Without objection, then the memorandum of Monday, August 18th, 2025, the executive session will, by consensus, stand approved as presented. Thank you. I was hoping, there's usually a gentleman sitting right back there with his wife that's not here this evening. And of all nights for him not to be here. We had recognition. Today was Frank Lane's 25 years of service to the city. And an honor to make a presentation to him tonight. He's been a cornerstone of our community, bringing excellence, reliability, and heart to every endeavor. His contributions have shaped our city and inspired those around him. It's with deep gratitude we celebrate this milestone for him, because 25 years is a long time, and we will make this presentation to him tomorrow instead of this evening. But I wanted the council to be aware.
Thank you.
Today is his anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
This being the second meeting of the month, if we could ask each of the three council people that are on the different committees to give a report. We'll start with the redevelopment commission. Phil, is there anything?
Nothing new to report. I still have not received an answer on the question that was brought up at our last meeting as to who is responsible for the change order at the new city parking lot on East Morgan Street, whether it will go back to the redevelopment commission or charged to the city. I don't know if we have an answer on that one yet or not.
I believe we do. I believe Stacy wasn't aware of that one. Because last meeting, Mr. Merritt wasn't here, but I think he can address that.
Yeah, the reason for that change order being paid for the city is, as I understand it, as they were excavating and digging things out, they found a need to add some materials and extra work to help preserve the surrounding area, not necessarily just for the parking lot, but for the surrounding area. So it made sense to our office at least to take it from preservation, because that can only be used for those types of expenses. So that's why we applied it to that. So it wasn't erroneous or anything like that. That was kind of the best place for it to come from, since it
Is
was
it being paid for by the city or RDC?
by the city. Yeah, it was paid for from the MVH restricted funds for preservation.
No further reports.
Councilwoman Mann, do you have anything to report from the economic development?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. And Councilwoman Miller, how about on the planning commission?
I unfortunately wasn't there, but what I understand is that the Habitat for Humanity and T&H consultants, I believe, they approved the replat, but they tabled the final plan. And then Craig Finneman came before the council asking to do some painting. Is that right, Gary? Yeah, repainting of some of his buildings, and I believe that was approved.
And they do look nice. That's a nice color. Okay, thank the three of you for that. Under new business this evening, Mr. Merida, you want to take the lead on this?
Yeah, so my office has a request of the council. This current ordinance in our code book refers to peddlers, solicitors permits. So the way that currently is worded is a person has to get their own background check, and then they bring that to our office and pay a $10 fee to get a 180-day permit to be able to solicit to people's doors. We found that over the course of time that really this is pretty ineffective. One, it takes my staff a pretty substantial amount of time to vet all this information out and process it. And to charge someone $10 is really not cost effective for the city. The other issue that we're running into is there really is no recourse for them not going through this process. So by the time they go back and forth to the sheriff's office, get their background check, come back to see us and do all that, we find that about 90% of them never complete the loop, and there's really nothing that we can do about it besides, you know, I guess if you want me to go chase after them, I can, but that's really about the only thing we can do. So our request is that either we repeal this permit, or that the council maybe work with Mr. Coffey on getting some suggestions on how we revise it. But we need to do something, because the way it is now, it really is not effective at all. We're losing money, and again, there's really no way to enact this ordinance as it is currently.
How many people come through there requesting a peddler's permit?
We typically get about 4 companies a year that will do it. We get about 20 to 25 calls a year about the process. So immediately 21 of them are just not completing the process.
What about individuals as opposed to companies? I had one in today trying to sell me something.
Right, so I can tell you recently we haven't had any that have completed the process.
In fact, in the past month, we've probably had 3 different individuals trying to
Yep.
sell us something.
And when they knock on my door at my house, I encourage them to come see me the next day. I can tell you that rarely do I see them ever again, so.
None of them had badges stating the company that they're, or whatever funds are going to.
And I will also add, it gives, my other concern is that it kind of gives the homeowners a false sense of security, because if they do have a permit from our office, I think people take that as we have done a full background check and we have vetted these people out. That is not what's happening. So they're providing us with a partial background check. So, I think we're giving people a little bit of false sense of security, which is just rubbing salt in the wounds, because we're also losing money on this endeavor. Plus, it's not super effective to begin with. So, open for suggestions, but just kind of wanted to throw that out to council to see, you know, if this would be something the council would like to look into, what you'd like to do with this. I can just tell you the way it is now, it's not working.
What do you think a fair fee would be for what work you go through?
to me, a $50 to $75 fee would be more in line with the work that we're putting into it. But my concern, to play devil's advocate, would be that if we're having such low percentage of people completing the process now, if we increase the fee, that, you know, our success rate is going to go down even further.
So Dale, what would be the way to enforce this that would have some teeth to it if we did?
Well, I really don't know. I haven't looked at this particular ordinance in the past, so I really don't know what the answer to that would be. If the council wanted to at least look more into it, I think the first step would be to probably reach out to other communities and see if they have similar ordinances, and if they do, how is it that they enforce it, and what are their fees on that? So certainly that would be, I think, the best way to start the discussion if you had an appetite to possibly look at revising this ordinance.
So my question would be, do we need to take a vote on whether you want to revise or repeal? And if you want to revise it, have a subcommittee of council to look into this and make some phone calls? I mean, would that be the logical way?
Can we table it so we can do some research?
I think that would be what a subcommittee could look into. If you want to form a subcommittee and look into it, report back, excuse me, next month or whatever, I mean, it's whatever you'd want to do. Kind of right now, the floor is wide open.
Does anybody else get anyone soliciting them on the council?
Well, if I answer the door.
If the door's open, they walk in.
I guess I make a motion to table it until next meeting.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to table this until the next meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to take this up at our next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no.
No.
Motion passes. So between now and our next meeting, does the council want to form a subgroup of 1 to 3 to look into this a little more and bring back a report?
I think we need to do something rather than just wait till next meeting. I'm willing to be on a committee for it.
You would? John would like to see something done, you know, rather than just table until the next meeting. But he's willing to be on the committee to look into this.
He does.
And Mr. Coffey, correct me, if we would decide that we're going to change this ordinance, there is a process we'd have to go through.
Yes, so because I would envision it having a fee involved, possibly a couple different fees involved, we would have to have a public hearing on the proposed amendment once we'd have a draft form of it. And so it'd be a public hearing, and then it would go through the process in order to pass the amended ordinance.
So if the subcommittee found some information, we could bring that to the next meeting, vote on whether they want to, the council wants to proceed with this. They could give you the information, and then we could put this on for maybe either the second meeting in September to start the process, or the first in October, and it's gonna take a couple, at least 3 meetings possibly, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there 1 or 2 more that would like to be on this with John? There's, John can be a lone wolf.
Can I get Dale to look at other communities for me?
Yeah.
Can you,
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
Get Dale to look at other communities and what they do.
So Ann's willing to help. So if the 2 of you will get together and after the meeting and then set up some time and then bring a report back to the next meeting, that'd be great. Okay, thank you. Prior to tonight, you were given claims to review. Are there any questions or comments about the claims?
I just have one. United Consulting Engineers, $4,100. It says State Road 44 Extension Service. So is that just extending the water over 44, or what is that?
We have money from the county to extend the water. We went under I-69 2 years ago and terminated it there roughly at the cell tower. You can see a fire hydrant there. This is the engineering study to carry it on across to the east, and the county is paying for that.
Okay.
Well, they have an ARPA grant that's has $1.5 million in it, and that will pay for both the engineering and the construction.
And Gary, that was just for our portion to start that, correct?
That we'll get reimbursed for from a grant?
Yes, yeah, we get their money back, so then it goes back to the county, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions regarding claims?
I'll make the motion to approve the claims.
Second?
Been a motion made and seconded to approve the claims as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Any comments this evening from the council?
I want to thank Mr. Oakes, Gary Oakes, for the tour after our last meeting of the new theater. It is beautiful, and I'm excited for our community. So thank you for that tour. That was very nice of you. Take your time.
Yes, thank you, Gary. I also did a tour with Ashley Cox from the park of the trail. Before I'd noticed some trees were down, and it just seemed like it was not very well kept, but it was last Tuesday when we went on a tour of it, and it looks amazing. So I was very, very happy with the way the trail looks.
Good.
And I went to Ani's on Friday night, one of our local restaurants here, and it was an amazing Italian dinner.
Good. Any other comments?
Yes, I do. This is a public comment. I was going to address this at the last council meeting. I missed Mr. Crane here. There's an article in the correspondence. I spoke with your reporter, Jared, and he told me he'd be happy for me to send a letter to the editor about when I did a letter to the editor. I don't think there's any malicious intent on it, but he did an article on the councils and about their attendance. And I answered the questions for him and tried to help the council. And he'd asked me about some dates and things. And I told him without violating any HIPAA laws, I explained to him that there was those council members that had surgeries. There were 3 that had deaths in the families. And I said, obviously, I don't care. It's not the public's business. I said, I'll tell you, I had a surgery that I was 4 months out of work. I couldn't attend work, and my head of my HR sits in this council as well, and I don't think she'd be happy with me finding my way to the councils and not at work. But I explained to him those dates, and I understand the questions. But, you know, just as a police officer, when you get a complaint, you look at both sides of the stories, because some things could look like the person is the suspect, did it, and then they find further facts that shows that they didn't. And I thought I explained pretty well to the members what his concern was and the questions. Just like the attendance, it said I said at the council attendance was not required, I think is how it was stated. But what I did, I even referenced to him and explained to him on elected officials a couple terms ago we still had the same council, Mr. Coffey here, and the clerk's office had a complaint on their office holder that she wasn't there, and they filed a complaint with the council because they were wanting her removed from office, and as they explained that there was the requirements to be there one time, and as long as the office is operating efficiently and effectively and no issues, that was the requirement. I was just explaining those things there, so I wasn't saying that council doesn't have to attend. We do, and I know those members that were absent, we all streamed it. We still get our claims and our minutes emailed to us. If we have a question, we always ask the mayor, we ask another council member or presenter or whatever, and I know each of them streamed it those evenings when they were gone. And what he'd asked me about nothing on the minutes, and I explained to him, I think what a council member was explaining to him is that there was nothing on the agenda that evening except approving the minutes, payroll, and the claims. And I said, I think that's what he was trying to explain, that if something came up they had to miss, that was the night they'd miss because there was nothing for them to, there's no issues. And if there were, obviously they'd make arrangements with them. But again, I don't think it was anything malicious, but I just felt that the paper, I would like to see them have relayed that information because I gave it, you know, trying to help out, and I understand the question, and I had no problems with them asking that question. But I just felt it was kind of unfair because, like I said, those members all had medical issues and things like that, so it wasn't like they just chose not to show up. But,
sure.
But that's,
I think you did discover to allude to, I forget what his exact wording was, but it wasn't hospitalization, but certainly referenced something having to do with medical and certainly not wanting to violate his but anytime something comes up, my phone lines are always open, always happy to take feedback, good, bad, or otherwise. And,
yeah. Well, I know, and I know, you know, you're a community paper, and I know we want to have that good relationship, and that's why I say I wasn't mad about it, but I just want to make sure you understood, because he told me that, he goes, well, because I think some of mine was left out, he said, my editor, and so he goes, you can talk to him, so I just wanted to talk to you and explain to you in that way, because like I said, it's important, I think that we do have that good relationship.
Sure.
And I just wanted to make sure, because I know one wasn't able to return the call, and so I did my best without violating any HIPAA violations or anything, but I just wanted to clear that out, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
I have one more thing.
And you said you had one thing and you've already given us.
Sorry. Just one more thing. I don't mind giving reports once a month, but I would like to see reports from once a month from the park department, the police department, the fire department. Let us just kind of, let us know what's happening, what's been going on. I would like to see that come back. I think we were doing that for a while, I think, but we just haven't had that.
We were doing it, and some of the department heads felt like the county, that'd be no problem. We'll do that.
Thank you.
Anything else from the council?
I'm
Happy
sorry.
birthday.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
I was stopped by a visitor at the city park while surveying the park one afternoon. He was following the Frisbee golf course, and I didn't realize the park had just recently installed some new baskets, and they are all over the park. And I thought, boy, that's some unusual places. But then I found out there's a group of folks that travel the state playing golf Frisbee.
Yeah.
And he wondered if we had maps of the locations, so I brought it up to our director of the parks, and she said they would check into it and see if they could. But I didn't know there was that kind of interest in it. But apparently there's a group of people that follow that.
It's almost as like the people that do pickleball.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she showed those to me too and told me about that.
Kudos to the people that stay in shape.
Well, the baskets up there, I thought some of them are placed in the woods. She said, oh yeah, they can't see the baskets, but they throw the Frisbee in a general direction, and depending on their score. It's pretty interesting. I enjoyed visiting with him. He was from out of town again, but I thought that was an interesting side note.
I hope they have better luck keeping track of their Frisbees than I did my golf balls. Because I know Mr. Lips decided he didn't like playing golf because he spent more time in the weeds than in the fairway.
They're right on side clubs.
Yeah.
Yes, happy birthday too.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. County Clerk Parker sent everybody an email. And state law came into effect that if you are a municipality under the, and correct me, Ben, if I get wrong on this, under the population of 3,500, you're automatically going to change your election cycle to be on that of the presidential, which will throw everybody, instead of having 2 years left on a term, we'll have 3 years. If your population is over 3,500, you have the option of what you want to do, stay on your own election cycle or extend to the presidential. Ben and I are going next week. Secretary of State's having 3 meetings throughout the state. September 3rd, next week, they're having it in Indianapolis from 12 to 2. So if anybody wants to go, let us know. Ben and I are planning on going to that and finding out more information. Any comments from the public tonight? If not, I just want to announce that all non-emergency city offices and services will be closed on Monday, September 1st for the Labor Day holiday. Additionally, the utility office and the transfer station will be closed on Saturday, August 30th in observance of the holiday. For those residents who normally have their trash picked up on Monday, it will be picked up on Tuesday, September the 2nd. Next meeting of the Common Council will be on Monday, September the 8th, here at 7 o'clock. We are adjourned.